Yeah, the world's first IVF, in vitro fertilization, rhino pregnancy that could save the Northern White Rhino. So
Wow.
I don't know if anybody remembers this or not. There was 6, I think, Northern White Rhinos, and then there was 3, and now there's 2 females.
I definitely remember
females,
hearing
no
the number start dwindling over like the past decade.
Terrible. And so it was all the way down to 2 females. So recently, scientists achieved the world's first IVF rhino pregnancy. Now, it's funny because we think everybody, even when I post stuff about like Rapidus or any of these species where there's only females left, or they're just dwindling and they can't get them to reproduce, I don't think people understand how complicated reproductive science is and how little we understand about it outside of human beings. We've studied it to death with human beings because everybody wants to have a kid, and so there's all this technology, and you can do IVF and your wife or your girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
We can't do that in almost any other animal. We've never been able to. Outside of bovids, we're really good at doing it with cows because we've always needed meat.
Sure.
But nobody in history has ever needed rhinos, right? So they haven't done rhino reproductive science. Anyway, so I say all that to set up the fact that for the first time in history, after 13 failed attempts, they succeeded in rhino IVF. So they're transferred a lab-created rhino embryo into a surrogate southern white rhino mother, which will ultimately birth a northern white rhino to help save the species. Because currently there's only 2 northern white rhinos, so you don't want to be experimenting on the 2
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
so that's why they did that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Wow.
13 attempts using eggs from female southern white rhino and sperm from a male in Australia. They've managed to get the surrogate, or in Austria, surrogate from Austria. I know, weird, but they're bringing different.
But it's still 100% of the DNA is southern white rhino. The embryo was already fully intact. She's just carrying it.
Correct. Southern, yeah.
Got it.
That's right, yeah.
That's amazing.
And so this is part of the biorescue project, which is, it's a breakthrough marker for saving the critically endangered northern white rhino. So, the next step is to repeat the process using the 30 stored northern white rhino embryos. Because they've been storing these embryos over time as the animals have been killed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So now they're going to try and repeat the process and implant them into the womb of the southern white rhino as a surrogate, and then, in theory, save the species.
It's kind of interesting, as you were talking about just procreation in animals. It's literally like the one thing and the easiest thing that every animal is driven to do, yet like it's impossible to recreate it in all these and like just animals other than ourselves. It's so complicated and complex. It's just P and V.
I mean, it's
Except cats. Female cats aren't like out. Now they go into heat.
Yeah.
But they don't want it. All cat sex is rape.
Right. Well, dog sex too. I mean, the penis. And by the way, I have a small dog. And
with a huge penis.
The penis doesn't come out very often, right? He has no balls. He's 14.
That's why.
But I caught him the other day. He was licking his junk over in the corner.
And he gave himself a bone.
I'm telling you, his boner was like 10 inches long, but like as skinny as Pat's ween, like tiny.
Sorry,
number
Pat.
2 pencil.
But so I just learned recently that what happens when the dogs mate, that giant, it's so long because it goes in so far, and then it just makes a ball on the end of the penis so that it gets stuck inside and the woman can't pull off.
The woman.